Did you know that 73% of travelers had to throw away items at security last year? That number is about to skyrocket in 2025 as airlines quietly roll out strict new carry-on rules that almost nobody is talking about. I just watched a woman ahead of me in security forced to abandon her $200 power bank because it exceeded the new limit by just a tiny amount. Don't let this happen to you. These 10 new rules are catching everyone off guard, and what's allowed today might be confiscated tomorrow. Number 1. Any power banks greater than 32,000 mAh is no longer accepted. Picture this. You're rushing to your gate when security stops you. Sir, this power bank exceeds our limits. That $200 charger you just bought, it's staying behind. This exact scenario happened to Jake from Boston last month when his brand new 45,000 mAh power bank was confiscated after a terrifying incident on an Air Busan flight in January 2025 where a power bank caught fire mid-flight. Aviation authorities worldwide have cracked down hard. The new rules are crystal clear. Anything over 160 watt-hours or 32,000 milliamp hours is completely banned from flights. Power banks between 100 to 160 watt-hours, you'll need explicit airline approval before boarding. Here's what's tripping up travelers: those massive capacity power banks that keep your devices running for days. Most exceed these limits. That 50,000 milliamp hour beast that charges your laptop multiple times, absolutely prohibited. Number 2.3-1-1 rule: less than 100 milliliters still applies to smaller or older airports in Europe. While security hunts for oversized power banks, another airport rule is causing widespread confusion and thousands of confiscated items daily. Did you hear that exciting announcement about the 311 liquid rule ending in 2024? Well, that information might cost you your expensive skincare collection at the security checkpoint. Here's what happened. Some UK airports briefly relaxed the liquid restrictions but then quickly backpedaled. As of June 2024, 6 UK airports, London City, Aberdeen, Newcastle, Leeds Bradford, Southend, and Teesside, have reinstated the 311 liquid rule due to serious security concerns. What went wrong? The EU had ambitious plans to eliminate the rule by mid-2024 using new scanners that were supposed to detect banned substances more accurately. There was just one problem. These fancy new scanners failed security testing. The technology simply wasn't ready. This creates a dangerous trap for travelers. Despite all those news reports suggesting changes were coming, the 311 rule remains firmly in place at virtually all airports worldwide. That means your bottles still need to be 100 milliliters or smaller, all placed in a clear plastic bag. Number 3. Budget airlines. Check latest baggage policy. Think losing a $30 bottle of cologne hurts. Imagine watching your free budget flight double in price because your carry-on bag is suddenly 2 centimeters too large. This isn't a hypothetical scenario. It's happening daily across Europe as budget airlines silently slash their baggage allowances. EasyJet, Ryanair, and Wizz Air have all quietly reduced the dimensions for free carry-on bags in the past year, leaving thousands of travelers shocked at the gate. What's particularly frustrating is how these changes appear with almost no warning. You might have used the same trusty cabin bag for years, only to discover it's now considered oversized by the very same airline you flew with last summer. The financial impact is significant. These unexpected fees range from 30 to 50 euros per bag, which can transform your bargain 29 euro flight into a 79 euro expense in seconds. Number 4. Air Canada now charges for carry-ons and seating for aisle and window. Those airport changing room scenes in Europe are just the beginning. The carry-on crackdown is now spreading to North America with unprecedented force. Air Canada has just announced a bombshell policy that will fundamentally change how budget travelers pack in 2025. Starting January 3rd, if you've booked a basic economy ticket, your trusty carry-on bag is no longer welcome on board unless you pay up. The new policy restricts basic economy passengers to just one small personal item, think purse or laptop bag, with absolutely everything else incurring fees. Want to bring that standard roll aboard? That'll be $35 extra. Need a second bag? Prepare to shell out $65 more. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, January 21st brings another unwelcome surprise. Free seat selection disappears completely for these same passengers. Number 5. Sharp objects, tools, and any firearm, even some aerosols. While airlines tighten their carry-on policies, security checkpoints are silently expanding their list of prohibited items, and you might be carrying some right now without even realizing it. That innocent-looking Swiss Army knife your grandfather gave you, or the multi-tool you've had for years. In 2025, security agents are confiscating these items without hesitation, even when the blade measures just a fraction over the 10 centimeters 4-inch limit. The prohibited list extends far beyond just knives. Scissors, hammers, drills, and even large wrenches or pliers exceeding 10 centimeters in length will be treated as potential weapons. And don't think your expensive brand name tool will receive special treatment. Security agents make no exceptions for sentimental or costly items. Number 6. Some hiking gear. That outdoor equipment you carefully packed for your adventure might be heading straight to the trash bin at the security checkpoint. Those expensive trekking poles with metal tips. Security now sees them as potential weapons, not essential hiking tools. The same goes for crampons, ice axes, and even carabiners that climbers rely on, all potentially confiscated if you try to bring them in your carry-on. Imagine arriving at the checkpoint with $500 worth of specialized gear only to face an impossible choice. Miss your flight to ship it home or abandon it completely. That's exactly what happened to Mark, an experienced hiker who had to leave behind his custom titanium trekking poles before boarding his flight to Patagonia last month. The most frustrating part? Many outdoor enthusiasts have no idea these restrictions exist until they're standing at security. The rules are particularly confusing because they're inconsistently enforced. An item that made it through one airport might be flagged at another. Number 7. Mercury thermometer banned. While outdoor gear typically requires checking, there's one common household item that could shut down an entire terminal if found in your bag. That antique mercury thermometer in your first aid kit. It's not just banned from carry-ons, it's prohibited from flying entirely, even in checked baggage. Unlike other restricted items that can at least travel in the cargo hold, mercury thermometers represent such a significant toxic hazard that airlines won't allow them anywhere on the aircraft. If one breaks during flight, the mercury creates a dangerous toxic spill that requires specialized cleanup procedures. What's particularly troubling is how many travelers don't realize their old-fashioned thermometers contain this hazardous substance. Those traditional glass thermometers with the silver liquid inside that grandma passed down. Those are exactly what security is looking for. Number 8. Tech poles and camping stakes not allowed. After checking your first aid kit for mercury thermometers, you might think you're in the clear, but campers and backpackers face an entirely different security challenge. That ultralight titanium tent setup you spent hundreds on. In the eyes of airport security, those poles and stakes aren't essential camping equipment. They're potential weapons that will be confiscated without hesitation at checkpoints. Security agents don't care about your upcoming hiking trip or how much your specialized gear costs. The moment they spot those aluminum poles or titanium stakes in your carry-on, you're faced with an impossible choice. Miss your flight or abandon your equipment. This creates a particular headache for ultralight backpackers who typically avoid checking bags altogether. The frustration is real and widespread. Each year, thousands of outdoor enthusiasts arrive at their destinations without the camping equipment they carefully packed, forced to either purchase replacement gear or change their plans entirely. The solution is straightforward, but often overlooked. Always pack tent poles, stakes, and similar camping equipment in your checked luggage. Number 9. No multi-tools and scissors longer than 4 inches are a no-go. Remember that innocent-looking multi-tool that's been hanging on your keychain for years? Well, it's probably the next thing getting tossed in the security bin. What many travelers don't realize is that even the smallest multi-tools often contain blades that airport security considers dangerous weapons. The 4-inch rule for scissors sounds straightforward, but there's an unexpected trap. Even when your scissors technically comply with the size requirements, security agents can still confiscate them based solely on how they look. That trusty pair of grooming scissors in your toiletry kit might pass the measurement test, but fail the appearance assessment from an individual agent. The confusion deepens with multi-tools. Security statistics reveal a staggering fact. Over 10,000 multi-tools were confiscated at US airports in just 1 year. Your Swiss Army knife or Leatherman might be the perfect travel companion, but the tiny blade that makes it useful is precisely what makes it prohibited in your carry-on. Number 10. Flour and powders, double check. You know that powdery substance sitting innocently in your kitchen pantry? It might be your next airport security nightmare. While sharp objects and liquids get all the attention, powders have quietly joined the list of heavily restricted items. That protein shake powder you packed for your post-flight workout could be setting off the same security alarms as explosive materials. Here's something most travelers never consider. In the US, any powder over 12 ounces gets flagged at security checkpoints. Why? Because powders can mask explosives in ways that security scanners struggle to detect. Even items as ordinary as flour, bath salts, and certain cosmetics fall under these restrictions, creating headaches for unsuspecting travelers. There are exceptions, of course. Baby formula, medications, and human remains are allowed through. But don't think you're getting a free pass. These items still face additional screening, often involving opening containers and testing the contents.